You're listening to Catchupcast, the podcast where, believe it or not, we do not discuss condiments.
All right, should we?
We've already started.
But we haven't welcomed people.
If they're not welcome by now, then they probably shouldn't be listening.
Hello and welcome to.
God damn it. We already did this part, and you already edited it into the beginning. I don't know why you're doing it again.
Because they want to be double welcomed. This is the podcast that currently has no name, although I'm sure you heard a name in the intro that we've definitely recorded. Yeah, I'm Ethan.
I'm Isaac.
And we are podcasting right now.
Yeah, I guess that's how you do it.
Welcome, guys. I don't know.
So really, why we're here why you're here is because you're the critical component in our friendship.
Our friendship hinges on you guys.
Essentially. I mean, continuing on into the future. We're good right now, for the most part, depending on when you listen to this and when we're published or if we've died or anything like that.
Right,
but,
and to explain that stress, Isaac and I don't attend the same college, so we only really talk when we're both home, because Isaac lives in a tree, I believe.
I don't know why. People think that I live a very remote life, but really, I don't. Really, it's not that. I mean, this past fall was, yes, very remote, and I was a moving target, but besides
why?
that.
Why was that?
Because I do crazy things, like go on a field semester in California for 80 days, and I don't...
In the woods, in parks.
See, what people associate woods with wilderness, and that's not always the case. I was in the desert, too. I was even in the ocean. I was all over the place, not just in the woods. I was in some great woods, though. I was in some redwoods. I was in some bristlecone woods. I was in some high alpine, white bark pine, Krumholtz woods. But woods does not necessarily mean wilderness. Just saying.
My apologies for the misconception. Isaac, where Isaac goes to school, there's not a lot of cell service, so...
But we have internet.
We have internet, so we can email, we can Skype.
Well, you always have internet.
Right, I have internet because I go to school in a civilized place. Unlike...
That is very offensive to call a place uncivilized.
I apologize
to your tree. Do you have any idea what connotation that holds for Native American people in this country?
Way to call me out, dude. I'm trying to be open-minded here.
But anyway, so we have internet, which is a basic human right that a lot of the country doesn't have. So I guess you could call me remote or rural.
Yes. So the idea is a lot of this podcasting is going to end up being done over Skype.
Yeah.
As a sort of way to catch up, and
Yep.
that's where you guys saving our friendship comes in.
Because if you weren't here to listen, there's no way we would ever continue to talk to each other.
Yeah, we just radio silence forever.
Because we have an obligation to put episodes out for you that are listening, but we've got no obligation at all whatsoever to continue this friendship past our basic minimum laziness obligations.
Right. Which means if you guys want us to stay friends and never speak to each other again, you have to listen, you have to respond, give feedback, and you got to click that
Rate us on
subscribe
iTunes button. If we're there.
Yeah, whatever is the option to do that.
Whatever is the option.
I don't know. I haven't sought out where to put this yet.
Make sure you buy all the stuff from our sponsors.
Yes, our sponsors such as...
we'll get them and we'll insert them right here.
Yeah,
we'll just
insert sponsors here.
Yep.
Oh, that's my favorite product. Wow.
No. We have we pre-record the ad spots and then we put them in.
I'm just responding to the ad we've just put in right there.
No, but do you know how an ad spot works?
Clearly not, Isaac.
So an ad company will give you like an email usually or something. I don't think they ever do it by snail mail nowadays, which
Probably
is
not.
But anyways, so they give you like, here we like your stuff. You should say this thing on your internet production thing, whatever platform you use, and they give you a script. You don't have to follow the script like exactly, but you should say like maybe the company's tagline or maybe that you've used the product. Mm-hmm. They'll usually give you some sort of sample so you know what you're talking about on the podcast. And you gotta say their tagline, gotta say like the thing, gotta say you should find it here. You know, they give you things to say, you're just not, like, reacting to the...
Gotcha. So rescind what I said earlier.
I mean, you could probably still say that, but I'm just saying it's extra.
Next time we have a sponsor,
It's
clearly inserted.
contractually obligated.
Gotcha.
And I really only want to stick to contractually obligated things.
Oops. So I thought since this is our first episode, we could. I found some questions on the internet. They may or may not be good questions, but we could just ask each other some
questions. Can you
questions.
be more specific than questions on the internet?
They're sort of get to know you / like deep personality questions. Ooh.
So you went to BuzzFeed questionnaire. Which Harry Potter house would you be in?
Right, and it said that you are actually a Durmstrang student, you stupid person.
Durmstrang?
Durmstrang, it's another wizarding school.
What?
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's Beauxbatons, which is in France, Durmstrang, which I think is Bulgaria, Hogwarts, which is in Scotland. There's one in America called Ilvermorny.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
What's the one with all girls?
Beauxbatons, but that's only in the movies. There's men who go there in the book.
What?
But they're they're really pretty French men.
Oh.
Which,
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I'm not going to make a judgment on Frenchmen on this podcast, as I've met some very nice Frenchmen. Emmanuel Macron.
Welcome to the Frenchman podcast, where we talk about our opinions on Frenchmen we've met.
They are definitely
lives.
French.
This is always Ethan, because I've never met a single Frenchman.
I've met some French people.
I don't think I've ever met somebody from France. That's a lie. But anyways, go ahead.
So these are just like questions that I found on Google. I mean, on my favorite search engine.
Non-contractually obligated search engine.
So I figured we could ask each other a couple of these. Since it's the new year, as of this recording.
Today is
the 8th?
Monday, January 8th.
2018. Isn't that crazy?
Not to those people, because they're already living in the future.
Right, sorry.
Yeah. It's not the high of the new year is already worn way down.
We're still on it. We're still riding that wave, the champagne wave.
Not so much.
So my question to start off the new year.
Oh boy,
what's on your bucket list this year?
Is that okay? Does that mean I'm gonna die at the end of the year?
No, I'm saying what do you want? What's on your list this year? What do you want to
do before?
What do you want to accomplish in 2018?
But a bucket list implies death.
What do you want to do in 2018? Let me rephrase the question.
But that's not the question that's on the sheet of paper that you printed out.
What's on your list this year? I just scribbled out the word bucket.
Your list?
Yeah, your list.
I thought we're past Christmas. I don't even
have
a list.
Answer the question,
right
Isaac.
I mean, I got a list right here. It's in my notebook. That's a non-contractually sponsored piece of merchandise. Yeah, it's just a laundry list. I gotta wash my socks and my shoes and my pants. Probably, I mean, not my shoes. It's kind of hard to wash shoes, but I gotta wash my shirts. Got a lot of flannel shirts. I gotta wash.
You ask a question. Well, I'll say my list. Maybe that'll inspire you.
Sure. What's on your bucket list for this year? What's on your pale list for this year?
Well, I really want to finish my book this year. I've been writing it for 6 years. I just want to get it done. It's kind of, I'm on draft number 3 at this point, and it's boring.
Okay.
But maybe by the time this recording, I'll be done. Who knows? Or the time this episode airs or is released. I don't know what the word would be.
Well, air would be not true.
By the time this episode's released, I want to get back on my bike. I haven't ridden my bike in a long time. Unless my road bike was on stage.
What's the name of your bike?
I got a new bike.
I remember we have names for Oh, you got a new bike.
Yeah, I haven't named it yet. Epona, maybe, after the horse from Legend of Zelda. I mean, from a video game series that I like, that I'm not sponsored by.
Non-contractually sponsored.
Yeah, product. I wanna go on adventures. I want to be more active. Get some of my works in progress finished.
Okay.
Does that inspire you for your pail list?
Nobody calls buckets pails anymore.
You just did.
Yeah, but like nobody else.
Whoops.
Well, okay. Yeah, I don't really feel a need to list things.
All right. Well, what question do you want to answer then? The whole list of them. Which one do you feel like a burning desire to answer?
If a genie could grant you 3 wishes right now, what would you wish for? Why is this on the list?
It was like 100 questions.
Because it's so easy. I'd ask for 3 more wishes. Or 1,000 wishes.
Cop out.
But it's true.
But it's the right answer. That's what I'd
It's
ask
the
for, too.
obvious
Yeah.
right answer. You'd ask for more wishes. What you would do with those wishes, who knows? You can bank those wishes forever. A genie, like, everybody thinks you gotta, like, get this genie back in their bottle so quick, but, like, this genie... Are genies immortal, is my question?
I think so. I think that's implied.
So...
They're also enslaved. So, like, you're enslaving this genie for eternity, basically.
Not if they're outside of their bottle, you're not. What if you're like, hey, genie, I'm gonna rub your bottle. Can you give me 1,000 wishes, and you'll be onto our plane of existence now, no longer stuck in that dusty bottle that I had to rub to get dust off of.
Good point.
Yeah, maybe I'm doing the genie a favor.
What's an ideal weekend for you, Isaac?
3 wishes I'd like to grant. A, 1,000 wishes. B, the genie to be unenslaved from the trap confinement
Save that for your third wish.
of the bottle. Well, I already have 1,000 of them, so why would I need a
But
third
is
one?
he going to grant your wishes if he's free?
I asked for the 1,000 wishes first.
Is he still contractually obligated to give you these wishes now that you freed him?
No, the genie is so thankful that you freed them from the bottle that they want to grant you 3 wishes. And once your 3 wishes are done, they're probably going to go back into the bottle. So why not give them... First ask for 1,000 wishes. And they're going to be like, oh, now I'm stuck out here with this guy for 1,000 wishes. What's he going to want? And then you're like, my second wish out of those 1,000 is that you can go free. Live a normal life.
And then he's so happy.
Yeah. Then you have 998 wishes left.
Yeah.
Right. And you freed somebody from contractually obligated slavery.
Which is illegal under the Constitution of the United States of America.
Is it, though?
At least for humans. I don't know how it applies to other beings of varying powers. But yeah, 13th Amendment guarantees slavery. U.S. history lesson for you guys.
Welcome to History Cast, where we bring up contractually obligated history messages.
I think that might be a running gag in this podcast, listeners, that we're just going to change
You
the
can't
name
say
of
it's
the
a running
podcast.
gag when we've only done it twice and this is our first episode.
I
You're
just
ruining
I
it.
was making a prediction. We're going to edit that part out.
Nah,
Unless I forget to.
you're too lazy to edit that out.
Yeah. What's an ideal weekend for you? Isaac just gave me a look. I don't know what the look means.
I don't like questions, like, because what's a...
What do you want to do on the weekend? Like what? School's out. You got 2 days to chill and to party. What are you gonna do?
It depends. The answer to all of these questions that you printed out... That's horribly loud.
I'm sorry, listeners.
It started with apologies to our headphone users.
Yeah.
The recommended way to listen to whatever this podcast is called Headphone Cast, where you listen to noises through your headphones.
And Apology Cast, where we apologize for ruining your ears because
probably
you're
didn't
listening
need to apologize for that. But what I was gonna say was, the answer to everything is it depends. Life is
valid.
infinitely more complicated than it seems.
Indeed. And yes, it is. And these questions, the problem with like finding these questions is you would search these questions on myfavoritesearchengine.com, and
It's probably a thing.
I bet.
You probably can't say that.
Thank you to our sponsors.
I don't think we know how.
I don't think we know how anything works,
How sponsorship on the internet works. 'Cause you
Uh,
can still say things.
but it's funnier if you don't.
I think this bit is probably worn off enough that it's...
Yeah, I think we've passed it. Thank you for hanging in there, listeners. We're experimenting a little bit with.
You
this
also
whole
probably
podcast
shouldn't
thing.
address the audience as much. I mean, they're getting kind of freaked out. We're breaking the fourth wall every other sentence.
Maybe they don't want a fourth wall.
Can you break a fourth wall in audio?
Yeah, like if you're listening to an audiobook, for example, and they're like, and then Harry Potter approached the door and said, "Hey, readers, watch what happens next." You've just broken.
That'd be
fourth wall.
freaky if...
Oh, I'd lose my my cool. I'd freak out.
Yeah, but what if like? Yeah, nah, that's fine.
I don't know. Sorry if you're freaked. I just address them again. They're terrified
See?
now.
You gotta not address the audience so much. They're probably terrified.
What audience?
So there's a story of a professor who wanted to have fun with his students and decided to put a contest out there in like a 30-minute lecture class of a hall of like 100 college students at like a normal college somewhere. Decided to do an existential writing prompt, and he put a chair in the center of the room and said, in a as many words as it takes in 30 minutes, write me an essay that describes why this chair doesn't exist. And everybody's frantically writing, and one person just wrote 2 words on a piece of paper and then took a nap for the rest of the class, because that's what college students do when they're not actively taking notes.
Right.
And everybody's like freaking out and like writing as fast as we can, and they're looking over at this kid, and he's like, this kid's taking a nap. He's obviously gonna lose, and like he's gonna fail this class, and like he's probably just a lazy bum.
I mean, I feel that same.
Totally. And then the professor says time really loudly, and everybody, shockingly looks up like, no, I had 3 more sentences to go. Didn't even give him the opportunity to say, well, finish your last sentence. He was just time, wherever it ended. Anyways. And so he's like, all right, start sharing them. And he pointed around the room, and people started to share parts of their podcast. And as soon as parts of their, why I said podcast.
Because we're podcasting.
Parts of their essay. And as soon as they got, like, I don't know, a couple sentences in, he was like, wrong! And on to the next person. They'd share, like, another couple sentences and be like, wrong! And eventually it got...
Question. Never mind. I'm going to not get political on this podcast.
Then eventually he got around to the guy that had been taking a nap and just wrote down 2 questions on his piece of paper. And the kid raised his head, held up his piece of paper real gently like this. Can this be an ASMR podcast?
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to ASMR cast. That's gotta be real frustrating. And he holds it up real nice, and he says, "What chair?" And everybody erupts in applause, and he takes a bow, and the professor's like, yes, you got it. I don't need to hear any others. You win. You passed the class. Now get out and stop wasting my time. You don't need to be here. Woohoo, everybody's like still applauding him as he walks out the door, and it's a great time.
Did everyone else fail the class?
Yeah.
That's really tragic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money spent on a chair.
Definitely.
So I've just convinced you that there's no audience? Is that the moral of the story? Because I'd like an audience.
Not now, you didn't.
That's how we get popular.
Now you just failed the test.
Wouldn't be the first time. Fun fact, I didn't fail a test till my senior year of high school.
Wow.
Because I took easy classes.
Did you, though?
Classes that were easy for me. They might not have been easy for everyone. Just stuff that I never really needed to study for. I don't know. But I took calculus, right?
Yeah.
Failed every calculus test until after the midterm.
Okay.
And it was, like, traumatizing. So can you imagine, you've spent all this money on this class, you've gone into Smart People University.
Yeah.
And a kid who writes 2 words makes you fail this class.
You know who that kid was? Steve Jobs.
Wow.
True story.
Little known fact. I
Did Steve Jobs ever say that he was a genius?
I don't know. I've never asked him.
Because I think that'd be really funny.
Is Steve Jobs a genius?
I mean, he's a capitalist, enterprising entrepreneur.
So a pig. That was a joke. That was an economics joke.
What?
Capitalism's dumb. It's what all the kids are saying now.
You were in international studies and in film academy.
Yeah.
In our high school. Yeah, I kind of still resent you for that.
Why?
Because it was elitist bullshit. I mean, I appreciate your appreciation for the arts, but There's no way I could have gotten into that. And all of our friends got into it, but I didn't.
Did you apply?
No.
Then of course you didn't get into it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky said that.
Do you know what sport Wayne Gretzky was?
Basketball.
God damn it.
Isaac seems to think I don't know how sports work. I do.
We
You
just
throw a
alienated
ball.
half of our podcast listeners.
In what way?
You don't know what sports was.
Sports is there's balls and you throw them and kick them.
Anyways. Well, because I didn't want to. I mean, I didn't really want to be in film academy or international studies, but I knew all of my friends were, and it sucked. Because y'all got to go to Europe. Y'all got to do whatever you wanted to do in the halls of the high school, filming shit.
That's true. I rode a bike through the high school.
Well, I was in a dumb English class where people were, true story, people decided to send back the date on their phone to before it was invented to see what would happen.
What did happen?
The phone shut down. And then he's like, well, fuck, well, screw this. I'm going to leave this English class and go to the Apple store right now to try to solve this. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, and this kid storms out of class, gets in his car, which is conveniently parked right behind the window of the class
That
I
is
was in.
convenient.
Starts his engine really loudly, revs it up, and then
As you do.
and then speeds out of the high school parking lot.
God, life was a riot.
And then my teacher, very very eloquently, just opened up her laptop on her desk, as we're all dumbstruck by the idiocracy that had just happened, and was like, "This is my favorite part." And we're like, "What's your favorite part?" Writing him up, and she starts typing on the computer like a message to the principal, like, this person just did this.
I mean,
That's a story for the 20 people that were in my senior English class.
and now me.
And now you.
See, my senior English class. God, what did we even do?
Exactly. It was a film academy English class. It was creative writing, which I would have loved, and I love to do now, but I couldn't have done it unless I was in film academy.
You didn't apply.
Because I didn't want to do all the other film stuff.
That's valid. For our listeners who don't know, Film Academy was this program, or still is this program at our high school, where it was creative writing, film editing, and drama. And the students in it basically had free reign of the school anytime they wanted and could do any sort of nonsense and claim it's for Film Academy, and that would excuse it. As I said earlier, I rode a bike through the halls.
And the group got really tight-knit, and you all made films together. And
We were not tight-knit.
friends, and
There were cliques.
some of you were enemies, but
Is that a jab at me?
this is jabbing everybody in high school.
Yeah, high school was
We don't need to talk about
no.
high school that way. I'm sure
High school happened. I think that's
I'm sure
probably how
high
most
school is
people-
offended by your.
High school can fight me.
I want to see you take on a whole student body.
How big of
High
a student
school.
body are we talking? We're talking like our high school? 600-ish people? We're talking like 4,000 people high school? We're talking 150 high school?
Yeah. Whatever.
I bet I could take on a couple people.
30 seconds of the first person that decides to show up.
Not if I come armed, and I got 2 of them.
I don't think you can say that. I don't think in today's society you can say you're gonna come armed.
Yeah, I didn't think that
take
through.
on a horde of high schoolers.
I'd like to make it clear I'm not going to attack any...
All right, now we
I have
are
to-
going to continue on to talk about international studies, which was even worse because it was 2 years.
Is this call me out time? Is this calling Finn out on his
everybody,
past?
of you guys forming cliques, and then you got to go to Spain at the end of it.
And Portugal, and France, and Morocco.
My point exactly.
Yeah, I see your point.
And make friends that are gonna last a lifetime. Where poor Isaac gets tossed aside.
I don't
to
talk
eat
to
lunch
most of those people.
with people who aren't in that thing, the international studies.
again, it's not my fault. I didn't,
How much Japanese do you still know?
sentences, like a couple sentences.
Like?
私はトコノコを食べています. That means I'm eating the small boy. So for you cannibals out there, now you know what to say when you go to Japan. I know different words. Kurisumasu is Christmas. Kisu is kiss. Hachikisu is stapler.
Itadakimasu?
I don't know.
Isn't that like thank you for this food?
I don't know.
Or is that Korean?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't want to make any...
One sentence that our teacher taught us was shinde kudasai, which means please die. So you know how to be polite when you want to.
Welcome. Welcome to Japanese Cast, where you learn how to say
How to threaten people's lives
random
in Japanese.
high school equivalent Japanese sentences.
He used to walk around, if we'd laugh at all, he'd come up and say, "No joy!" But then he taught us how to say it in Japanese, so he'd be like, "No joy des!"
In a Japanese accent. That's kind of offensive, I feel like.
He's a white guy. He can get away with cultural appropriation all he wants.
Whew, we're diving into the
That's my one political
the hard
comment
topics of this podcast already. We're making it real edgy.
You know I'm into that edgy stuff. I listen to my... I don't. But that's what edgy people listen to, right?
I don't want to talk about what edgy people talk about.
What do you want to talk about? We got about 5 minutes left in this podcast.
You don't need to tell them that.
If we're going for the half... Edit that part out.
Which you're not going to do.
I will. We'll edit this stuff out.
I'd like you to not.
Okay. We're still new to this, so...
You don't need to tell them that either.
There's
so many things you don't need to tell the audience.
You talk, Ken.
I've been carrying on this conversation the whole time.
You've been attacking me.
Yeah, which is great content.
That's true.
Just addressing the audience and saying, "Oh, we're new to this. Oh, we don't know what time."
But do you see how fragile our friendship is there? That's why we need this podcast, Isaac.
I don't think to be honest, I don't think right now our friendship is fragile.
I was being funny.
I think in a month's time when we're both in...
Don't they say distance makes the heart grow fonder? So we're hundreds of miles apart. Aren't we closer than ever before then?
Yeah, but I don't fawn over you when we're absent.
The way you phrased that made me feel really uncomfortable.
As it should.
I'm not fond of what you said. I found it to be a little disturbing.
Yeah.
Makes me want to jump into a pond and swim away.
So is you saying distance makes the heart grow fonder, when this is obviously just a friendship.
But a good friendship. We've been friends for...
Welcome to Distance Makes the Heart Grow Fonder podcast.
Distance Cast.
The Fonder Cast. Well, you know there's no difference between distance and time.
Mathematically there is.
No. Conceptually there isn't, though.
Time is a concept.
Yeah, but I'm not talking Neil deGrasse Tyson time. I'm talking, which is the name of his podcast.
Neil deGrasse Tyson time.
But like
a genius podcast.
Conceptually, as I'm a genius. Conceptually, as a human being experiencing things, experiencing gravity, there's no difference between distance and time. They're
you're right.
Conceptually the same thing.
Now, on a cosmic scale, distance is measured in time.
There's no difference between the two.
Huh. Can I address something that's just been bugging me for years?
30 minutes to walk from my house to yours. It takes me 4 blocks to walk from that's not true. It takes me probably 7 blocks to walk.
Right, in this busy city.
Blocks, why do we measure blocks and distance? It takes me about a half a mile to walk from my house to your house.
Yeah.
Which would be, depending on the pace, a measure
So
of
it's
time.
all relative.
Welcome to Relative Cast.
Where we talk about
things in a relative manner.
Yeah. Relatively speaking.
That should be the name of the podcast.
Relatively speaking?
That's probably already a thing.
Yeah. Oh, there's people outside.
That's probably Stephen Hawking's podcast, where he touts how much he's a genius.
This is like the first day it's been warm.
It's, 35 degrees out?
Compared to like 3 degrees?
Yeah, I don't like it.
The warmth or the cold?
The warmth.
You're not used to it up in your tree?
Like, many people have said I live in a tree, and I take offense to that.
Sorry. In your hovel. I'm sorry. I feel bad now. I'm being a bully.
People don't know actually what my life is like. And I feel like they would understand it a lot better if they came to visit me once.
I will. But, like, schedule-wise, it hasn't worked out yet.
Obviously, I've never been to your college either.
Nice save.
I don't want people finding you at your...
My 2,000 people school, I'm sure I'll be very easy to find.
That would be so easy to find.
There's like 6 Ethans.
Yeah. Despite you have way much more of a internet
Presence
than I do.
Which, speaking of internet presence, viewers, listeners, this is just, if you ever want to ask us anything or, like, send in questions or topics you wanted us to discuss.
Hit us up on Vine.
Yeah, hit us up on Vine. You can send stuff to me, somehow.
And who are you?
And I'm Ethan.
And where can we find you?
You can find me
at 247 street name
in small town America, USA.
All right. And your social security number is
333333333. That's not my social security number.
I don't know if you can say that on a podcast either.
My social security number is
No, like don't even say those 5 words followed by a string of numbers.
I was gonna make garbled sounds and then like I don't know. I thought that'd be funny, but it occurs to me it might not be funny.
Yeah, somebody probably has that social security number.
No, social security number is all the numbers in a row.
Do you know that we're running out of social security numbers?
That's not good.
Like eventually,
social security is gonna get butchered.
Eventually, we're gonna have to add another digit or something.
Then we add another digit.
Because you can't reuse somebody's social security number after they die until like 10 years later.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people are going to make transactions on that account after somebody's dead. Like, if you think about it, like, that's how you identify somebody in a permanent way for the government for even after they're dead. And if you have any, like, next of kin, that they're going to use that social security number to, like, I don't really know how it works, but
that's really interesting.
But since have so many people alive, that isn't keeping up with the demand of our
So I've just ruined someone's life.
You've probably ruined a few people's lives already.
In general, or like with the social security number thing?
In general.
Thanks,
the social
Isaac.
security number thing only being one way.
Thank you so much for that self-confidence boost. I think that about wraps it up for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast that definitely has a name.
The podcast.
The podcast. One podcast to rule them all.
No, you can't say that either. That's definitely a copyrighted phrase.
Come get me, cops.
No, don't say that either.
I can't do anything.
There's certain things you just can't say on the internet.
We're going to look this stuff up and we're going to find it out.
And next time you'll hear us with a much cleaner, more contractually obligated sentences with nothing that we're going to say is going to get us in trouble.
Right.
Or
no one's social security numbers will be said on this show ever again.
Promise this will be the last time we share social security number. Never thought I'd have to say that.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.